Today is Tuesday, May 17th, and it's time for the Chair's Daily Life. Happy Tuesday. So there's a lot to cover, right? There's a lot of news. I'll have days where I don't know what I'm going to talk to you about. And then there are days where there's just so much I have to narrow it down. When I think about, what there is to talk about today, there's SWAT leads, there's the 2 mass shootings, there's voters registration, white replacement theory, the baby formula, abortion, and all of this stuff to talk about. I'm going to narrow it down to just 2 because I kind of want you to pay attention. So let's talk national news. So I've shied away from talking about this because it's so incredibly upsetting, but this is happening in the world that we live in. And so over the weekend, in Buffalo, New York, there was the I'm not going to be on TV. I'm just going to be truthful. There was the racist shooting at the Buffalo grocery store. They're calling it racially motivated, whatever. It was racist, right? If his whole desire was to kill Black people, and there were white folks who were in the mix, and that's what happens, right? You can't just go in and attack some. You're attacking all Americans. So the young man who had body armor and all of this artillery went to a grocery store where people should just be able to mind their own business, went to a grocery store, killed 10 people, wounded 2. And he did. He quoted Tucker Carlson, and Tucker Carlson's trying to keep his hands off. But the reality is that we are here, not an isolated incident. And I'm gonna come back to that. We are here as a step down a path. I can't not mention the church shooting in Laguna Woods, California, where the gunman came in, opened fire on at least 6 members of the AA-NHPI community, 1 dead, 5 wounded. AA-NHPI, right in the middle of AA-NHPI Heritage Month. So we are in a crazy place in our country, and we cannot gloss over it, talk about it in euphemistic terms, kind of tiptoe around it. We are in a bad situation because our country goes into waves. We go into waves of racism, how we're going to deal with racism. So we go into waves. We go to a wave where we think, okay, we're going in the right direction. And then something else happens to remind us, no, we're not. But we've been on this track for so long that it's really kind of scary, right? Going back to Charlottesville, where the then president said that there were good people on both sides. And it has just been progressively getting worse, while people of color were getting basically murdered on sight by police, and we kept making excuses. Where Dylan Roof got arrested for the church shooting and got to go to Burger King. Where Kyle Rittenhouse, literally on film, crossed state lines, looking for somebody to shoot, actually was able to shoot someone and got invited to Mar-a-Lago. We have been on this trajectory of it being okay to just have racist hate with very little consequence, and it just keeps escalating. And that's where we are. And now we're talking about white replacement theory. Now, this has been a thing that they've been talking about for a really long time, but we're at a point now where we're saying it on the news, where we're saying it open.
Hi, friends. I guess that Alicia is having some technical difficulties. I'm going to pick up where she left off. She is calmer than I am right now. I am absolutely fuming because the level of racism that we are experiencing today is something that should not have been tolerated 50 years ago, much less today. But it seems like people have been given license to the point where they don't even have to cloak their intentions. Instead, they are being bold because they have been emboldened by by 45 and his cohorts in such a way that now we are suffering as a country. And I say we, I'm not a black man, as you can see, but that doesn't stop me from being angry. It doesn't stop me from saying, okay, if we're going to make change, we got to do it right now. And the way we do that is change in leadership, because we cannot stand much longer. This so-called white replacement theory that they're talking about, they are afraid that white people will become a minority. So what if that were the case? The issue, and this is not original to me, I've seen it several places in the last 24 hours. The notion is that why is it a bad thing if white people become minorities? Because minorities are constantly underserved, constantly under attack in our nation. All right, I'm off my soapbox. Here's our chair back. Thank you. I'm sorry to hit you with that.
Thank you, Scott. I'm not real sure what you said. I don't know what happened, but I hope that he covered the fact that nobody's sitting around trying to figure out how to get rid of white people. What people are doing is sitting around trying to figure out how to scare white people. And the people who are doing that are white people. They are pundits, because they figured out that is a scary thing to say, and it might scare people to the polls. I'll remind you, they're trying to scare people to the polls. We're trying to inspire people to the polls. And this white replacement theory, I mean, just saying it out loud hurts my soul, hurts my spirit, because that's not where we should be, but it absolutely is where we are. It's morally disgusting. And we can't let folks who think like that, folks who want to scare folks to the polls, we can't let them win. We cannot be ruled by fear. We have to be ruled by hope. And I just wanted to say it out loud. I didn't want to say it out loud. I felt like I needed to say it out loud because it's, again, I don't know another way to say it except that it's disgusting, that they're figuring out, well, I got to figure out, we don't have Trump anymore. So what can we do? Oh, I know, we'll scare people by saying, that they're trying to replace white people. They're trying to make white people the majority. They're trying to make white people be in some dark shadows, I guess is what they're saying. I don't know. And I have to guess because who knows their sinister thoughts. So I'm going to shift real quick because that's a disgusting, depressing topic. And I want to talk about something locally. May not be less disgusting, but I still need to talk about it. So we've been talking now for a couple of weeks about the scandal regarding the wasted funds with regards to the SWAT lease deals. And last week, our lieutenant governor, and I'll say his name in case you don't know who he is, Matt Pinnell. And I say that because he stays kind of in the shadows, and he's been trying to kind of ride the wave and not get any stit on him, but he is the lieutenant governor. Last week, he made this big stink about the governor took all the power. We want the power back in the tourism department so we can oversee the contracts, and it won't be like this. Well, here's the problem. The lieutenant governor is over tourism, and our current lieutenant governor, Matt Pinnell, signed off on a lot of the fraudulent invoices. Now, I'm not saying that he committed fraud. Let's be real clear. But he signed off on a lot of the invoices without even looking, a lot of the expenses without even looking at invoices. So he didn't provide any oversight, and his hands are not clean. His hands are not clean. Matt Pinnell was every bit involved in this nonsense as Governor Stitt. And so people are looking at, and they're trying to keep Matt Pinnell kind of clean and safe so he can run for governor later because he's young and blah, blah. The reality is he is not only complicit, but he is absolutely a part, and he's very organized about it. So our lieutenant governor, everybody's mad at Stitt, including me. Everybody's mad at Stitt. Everybody's wondering about the oversight, but everybody's only talking about Governor Stitt and the guy that they fired or let quit so that they could blame him as a scapegoat so that maybe Stitt won't get anything on him and maybe Matt Pinnell won't get anything on him. Matt Pinnell's signature is on some of these documents. So Do not be confused. Do not be tricked into believing that he's just an innocent cuckold. He's absolutely part of it. Fortunately, we have a candidate, Melinda Elizade Fard, who is an immigration attorney out of Oklahoma City, who is running mainly on transparency. That is her main platform, is transparency, because nobody even knows who our lieutenant governor is, because he's over here in the shadows and he's over here being quiet. So I encourage you to go out to our Facebook page, okdemocrats.org candidates, look up Melinda Elizade Fard, invite her to your events, make sure that people know who she is and know that we have an option. We don't have to stick with this reign of secrets and corruption. We don't have to be stuck with that. We need some transparency. We need truthfulness. And Matt Pinnell hasn't been either of those things. So that was a lot. We need a new lieutenant governor. I'm going to sum it up. We need a new lieutenant governor. So please, please, please go out there and support Melinda Elizade Fard. Please go out and support Melinda. Southern Oklahoma. She was raised in Southern Oklahoma, lives in Oklahoma City, immigration attorney. We have options. Please support candidates now. And even if you don't support her, but do support her, we can't let this guy get back in. And white replacement theory is just another freaking scare tactic, not created by people of color, not created by marginalized folks. It's created by those who want to scare you to the polls. Don't be scared to the polls. Go and vote for inspiration. Go and vote for hope. So I want to leave with hope as the last thing I say. I want to leave with hope. And I'll see you tomorrow at 4:15. Have a great one.